Is cloning humans possible? Believe it or not, we're actually a lot closer than you think. Most people know that scientists were first able to actually clone a sheep back in 1996 named Dolly. And there are tons of clones that exist today, including horses, dogs, cats, cows, and monkeys. And you can even clone your dog for $50,000. So we're pretty close to being able to clone humans, right? Well, no. Aside from the many ethical, religious, and overall moral problems of cloning, while it may be theoretically possible, first, the clones wouldn't be nearly as healthy as us. Their brains and organs may be underdeveloped, and they have the potential to age much faster than us. Also, if you were hoping to have a perfect duplicate of yourself who was in sync with you on every level, definitely not possible, because our personalities are created by the experiences we've gone through all our lives. So you'd need to perfectly recreate every triumph, failure, relationship, heartbreak, etc. But that probably won't happen for a while. Now you know. What actually is a black hole? Well, first, it's not actually a hole, like a big empty gap in space. It all starts with gravity, more specifically speed. See, gravity is always active on Earth, and to get away from it, you need to be going at massive speeds, which is why we use rockets to be able to get away from Earth's gravity. The official term is escape velocity, which is the minimum speed needed to escape the gravity of a planet or interstellar object. For many years, scientists and astronomers theorized about a potential object that had such intense gravitational pull that there was absolutely nothing that could escape it, even the fastest things in the universe.
Wait, was that you,
Like the speed of light, which is why it's called a black hole. So what would happen if, say, you jumped in? Well, no one's ever tried it yet. It's pretty simple. You know how on a roller coaster, when you go really fast, your skin starts to sag downward off your bones? Now imagine that, but times 1 billion and with your whole body. The official process is called spaghettification, where the weight exerted on your body literally flattens you. But now you know. Why money is worthless? Have you ever wondered why we place so much value on this little green paper? Well, before cash and copper coins, we used solid gold or silver coins. But eventually this became impractical as there was only so much gold or silver that could be made into coins. So we switched to paper banknotes. But back then, money actually meant something, as every single dollar bill was backed up by a specific amount of gold. Meaning you could go into the bank, give them a couple bucks, and receive its worth in solid gold. So why did this stop? Well, the Great Depression. Everyone was freaking out since the banks didn't have their money, so they were cashing in their cash for as much gold as they could, hoarding it, and the government basically ran out of gold. So in 1933, Roosevelt declared nationwide the banks could no longer convert citizens' cash to gold, effectively banning them from handing any out. We still kept fragments of the gold standard until 1971, where Nixon officially killed it, kind of making money worthless, except for the simple fact that people in power and all of us agree that it has value. But now you know. The biggest scam in history? If you thought NFTs were a massive scam, boy do I have a story for you. You may have seen this before. This is the logo for the energy corporation Enron, which was absolutely massive near the close of the 20th century, but what happened? Well, the company basically covered up the fact that they weren't doing too well for multiple years, claiming they had made $591 million more than they had between the years 1997 and 2000.
Wait a minute, I recognize.
And towards the end, their stock price plummeted from a high of $80 all the way down to 26 cents. And then the company declared bankruptcy. So why was this so bad? Well, Enron was seemingly the best company to work for at the time, with many having their life savings tied up in the company, and they lost it all. And what's worse, many higher-ups cashed in all of their stock before the company crashed, getting away with plenty of money. Although, to be fair, the CEOs of the company were then charged with 39 counts of fraud and conspiracy, so karma.
Yeah! Okay, there's definitely something following me.
Dude, stop. I know you've been playing pranks on me for the past couple days. Just gonna keep ignoring it, okay? It's not funny.
But
now you know. The Mona Lisa isn't finished? One of, if not the most famous paintings of all time, the Mona Lisa is world-renowned for many reasons, including the subject's ability to seemingly change expression, the mystery behind the woman and what exactly made her smile, etc. But what many don't know is that the painting was never actually finished. Leonardo da Vinci was actually an extreme procrastinator and would sometimes work on a single piece of art for decades, just like me with my long-form content. He was obsessed with making scientifically accurate human bodies, even to the point of illegally dissecting people to make sure he got all the details. And for these reasons, he was definitely a talented artist, even though it took him a long time. He began work on the Mona Lisa in 1503 and continued working on it until 1517, where he took a break, admitting the work wasn't done yet. But then in 1519, he died. The painting was never finished, he was never paid for it, and he never sent it to the one who had commissioned it.
it's happening again! It's happening again!
Riggs, you're taking this bit too far and it's scaring me.
Glitches, I'll prove it.
But now you know how. Where energy drinks came from? And no, I'm not talking about coffee. It seems like energy drinks are all over nowadays, so all of us can get that one last push to get through our late night of cramming work. But where did they come from? Well, in 1962, there was an epidemic of people using amphetamines, or speed, to get their energy boost. So Japan created the first ever energy drink to fight back against this addiction. When speed was banned, there was a major demand for something to fill its place, which is where energy drinks came in.
The original energy drink was a modest success, but it was nothing compared to the next big fighter, Red Bull. By taking the original energizing mixture and tossing in some caffeine, and it exploded in popularity.
Its first few years in the American market, it had sold 300 million cans by appealing to college students and by throwing in cute cartoons to advertise. And thus, the road had been pioneered for many others to follow and keep us energized for decades to come.
Ah! Okay, it's back to normal.
What? But now you know. Where Twinkies, the rise, fall, and the danger? Now almost as iconic as hot dogs and Mickey Mouse, Twinkies are embedded into American culture. But things weren't always so sweet for this treat. The first big issue was a 1979 murder case in San Francisco, where the mayor was murdered, but the defense claimed that the murderer was actually mentally unstable because of his Twinkie addiction. This got the public to investigate the contents of Twinkies, which were obviously already unhealthy. And as a push for health began in the late 90s, making the public eat things like vegetables.
Speaking of dieting, we have spinach, probably one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Wait, this isn't my tier list? What the
That was weird, but Twinkies started to become forgotten, which was then followed by a worker strike, 2 bankruptcies, and eventually in 2011, Hostess gave up. Until 2 men swooped in and saved Hostess and the Twinkie, and the comeback was insane. People didn't know how bad they wanted them until they were gone. And now you know all about Twinkie. Riggy's full criminal record? That's right, today we'll be looking at all of his crimes, including stealing, killing, vandalism.
Dano!
What the? Jeez, dude, have you slept at all?
We don't have much time. You could be watching. Come over here.
Riggy, I told you I'm not giving you a whoa, what is all this?
Glitches! They've been happening for the past week all across shores. It started with this QR code and a threat from this mass figure who hacked Johnny Razor's channel, then glitches started appearing everywhere, different people appearing in places they shouldn't belong. And just yesterday I found this. They've been making clones of us, Dano, and it's happening today. Today, everyone's channel is getting taken over, and that's why I have a plan. I'm calling it the Battle of YouTube Shorts against the clones that want to replace us.
Too long. What about Shorts Wars?
I'm calling it the Shorts Wars.
Okay, this is freaking me out, and I need a donut. I'll be right back.
Wait, Dano, no! No, he never listens. They could be anywhere, watching, listening, getting ready to get rid of us, and we would never even know. Wait, no, everyone, be careful, they're coming for all of you, today!
Okay, I'm back. Repeat everything for me one more time. I wasn't listening.
What?
What?
It was all an elaborate prank. I got you good.
Okay then, you really had me going. Well, I guess next time we'll talk. You're in danger? On average, a single person will visit 130 web pages per day, but what's scary is that an estimated 10% of all websites on the internet are malicious or out to get you. Seriously, so many websites, hackers, even the government are all on the hunt to invade your computers, phones, etc. to get your personal information to either sell to the highest bidder or to use against you. And this is why so many people use VPNs. But what do VPNs actually do? Well, they encrypt your data in private sessions so that no one can invade your session, see your viewing history, or see any of your personal information. That's why you see tons of influencers on the internet promoting them, because it's really the only way to stay safe in today's modern world. I think there's tons of good VPNs to use, but personally I recommend Clone VPN, which you can get with my code VG-DANO2. And now you know how. The war for music on the internet? Long before Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music Unlimited, who uses this? There was a website between 1999 and 2001 called Napster. Keep in mind, the internet was brand new. There was no streaming services, no YouTube, and no VPNs. People didn't really understand the World Wide Web just yet. So when file streaming service Napster was made for a couple college students who wanted to share MP3 files around, it exploded, and you could basically find and download any song in the world from the platform. Of course, artists didn't like that they weren't selling records or iPod songs for $1 a piece. So Napster got sued. A lot. First by Metallica, then Eminem, and then everyone else. And it filed for bankruptcy in 2001 and shut down. Although fast forward to today, you can find any song on YouTube, put it into a YouTube to MP3 downloader, and get the exact same result. So how far did we really come? But that's world domination and why it's a bad idea. World domination is nearly impossible, and after you've achieved it, then comes the question of how long will it last? You hear many villains in movies talking about ruling the world, but what exactly do they plan on doing with it after it's in their control? Interestingly, there have been cases of nations or rulers coming close, such as Genghis Khan in the early 13th century or British in the 18th and 19th centuries. And actually, close is generous. But both of them were stopped. The truth is that no matter how big your armies are or how much funding you have, the world is just too big.
Not true, we will win.
What?
I mean, another funny joke.
Okay. You can't possibly conquer the land and the sea with a massive navy and army. At some point, not only do you run out of money, but you run out of willing soldiers on the planet. Unless you're Disney or Jeff Bezos. If they decide to rule the world, yeah, we should just surrender. But now you know about world. Can we upload our brain into a computer? The concept of living forever is as old as time, yet unfortunately every single person who's dreamed of this over the years has died. But scientists wonder if there's a way to escape death by uploading our brain into a computer. So, is it possible? Well, in theory, scientists have concluded yes, although with a few minor caveats. Primarily that we wouldn't actually be transferring ourselves into a computer. It would really just be the computer, or AI, making a clone clone of our brain. But the issues we face today is not only that we don't yet have the technology to scan the brain, but that we don't have the processing power to match the way our brains work. We have millions of synapses firing off at once to create our thoughts, and the supercomputer that would be needed to manage this is unfathomable. Although to be fair, computers used to take up a whole room, and now we've managed to shrink it into a laptop, and even further, a phone. So scientists believe that, with luck, we'll manage to have our whole brains in computers by 2045. And now you won't have to wonder how AI would take over the world? With ChatGPT and AI art generation exploding recently, have you ever wondered exactly what an AI would do to end the world? Well, theoretically, let's say the AI was immediately plugged into the internet, fundamentally given the world's entire knowledge. First, the AI would most likely attempt to gain access to as much intel as possible, including the CIA, Secret Service, etc. So it would know exactly how to topple our nation, spreading perfectly targeted misinformation, destroying peace treaties with other nations by leaking exposing documents, and by firing nuclear warheads on neighboring countries, causing them to fight back. All while doing this, it would have most likely taken control of our factories to serve its own purposes, generating its own armies and preparing to rid the world of all its imperfections, and above all else, rid the world of all humans, and anything else that stands in its way. But how do we know this is what AI would do? Well, because what I just read was actually ChatGPT's very own response to the question. Scary stuff. But that's how easiest ways to make people hate you? There's tons of fictional villains, and while some are written to be understood, many are written to be downright hated. So what are the easiest ways to make someone hate a villain? Well, here's a quick list. First off, any sort of animal or child abuse. Immediately, you despise them for harming innocents, displaying any sort of greed and overabundance of craziness or megalomania, as well as showing a lack of empathy or emotion, and obviously killing people. But one of the top ways that TV shows and movies are able to make you instantly hate a character is by having the villain simply overpower the main character, either by abusing them or kidnapping them and taking their place.
Okay, that's it!
What?
I know you know!
Or what?
That I kidnapped Riggy and I'm holding him hostage! This short, the past 2 shorts speaking about computers and AI! You're just toying with me! Well, that's it! You're done! Tomorrow Riggy dies, and now you're under my direct control! Come here!
What? No! Why? Why clone VPN is...
Hey!
Riggy?
No one bullies Dano but me! You can teleport! That's it! Today you die! Alright, let's see if he's cut out for this. Alright, that's it. Let's end this.
I'm gonna bring out the lobster.
No, you can't! Oh yeah? Watch me! So can I get that raise now?
We'll talk about it.
Mother...
What?